fantastic. You've been, voted as one of the top 5 most promising entrepreneurs in India by Business World. Did you think you'd really make this kind of an impact when you started out?
I had no idea that this is the kind of impact that we are set on to. As we were passing through the journey, every day we understand as to what is the impact that we could make.
And of course, everyone's been selling. There are very many sites that are selling plane tickets and train tickets and so on. But nobody really thought of bus tickets. I mean, and we all know that the money is really at the bottom of the pyramid. And you've been amazing to cash in on that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is one, because I was a customer myself. And the second reason why it's not done is it's very fragmented. There are hundreds and thousands of bus operators across the country running these buses. And the perception was that these bus operators were like rowdies and goondas who were running these buses, very unorganized, unstructured. Right? That's why usually people didn't get into it. In fact, when I was leaving my job to get into this, one of the people who had the biggest concern was my manager. He was saying, why are you are like, by education I was a state ranker in Andhra, then I was a distinction from Pilani and etc. And all. He said, you're so good, you're doing well in you've done well in academics, you're doing good at Texas Instruments. Why are you leaving this job to get into the rowdies and gundas and etc. and all that? But actually when I got in there, I realized that they're not like that. It's just that the hassle that they go through, the tensions that they go through, not everybody can keep up to that, and it is their personal money which is getting into it. It is their the profit and loss. I mean, it's like any other small and medium businessman, right? I mean, they usually the outlook is like that, but inside them they are organized and structured and all. And also, when I went and met them, many of the businesses were passed on from the parents to the children, and the children were very educated. They were engineers and etc. and all, and they could relate to what we were saying, and that's how we could make the move into it. And as the journey passed through, we were surprised at the traction that we are gaining. We are surprised at how consumers are adopting to the new thing. And also very handy is that the whole internet revolution is happening in the country at this juncture, which is also helped us.
Now, you are a graduate from the Harvard Business School. So when you actually graduated from Harvard, what did you think you were going to do? I'm sure you didn't think that you were going to start a chai business. I'm sure you were thinking of maybe joining a very big international corporation, or did you really think entrepreneurship when you got your degree from Harvard?
Actually, I went to Harvard with the idea of sort of learning about entrepreneurship, if one could. I was very clear. I was working at Microsoft before I went to Harvard. I worked with Microsoft for 4 years, and I had a great run, a very good run. And I was one of the youngest employees there. So when I went to Harvard, I was very clear that I had the whole fascination with the corporate world, the glitz and glamour I was done with. So when I was there at Harvard, I was generally trying to understand several things. Discover myself, in all honesty, and also understand various things. And I realized that the most interesting opportunities are the ones which are not so obvious. So I was very clear that I just wanted to figure out something which is a big opportunity and something which is scalable. So, but when I graduated, I did not start business straight off. The idea had not struck, though. If I recollect, we did discuss this. In one of those long night sessions with some of my student friends. But it had not struck. The thought that had struck me was that I needed to work under someone who could guide me better. So I ended up working for an old boss of mine who was responsible for Microsoft across Asia Pacific, and I became his business manager. Did that for a few months, and then I came back to India to actually be the country manager of a software company which the company at that point of time had acquired. I was obviously you can see it was a very soft landing. I come from a very conservative background. My father is a police officer, retired police officer, and I'm the only child there, and certainly maybe one of the first businessmen in my family. So I really wanted to slide down carefully. I was very cautious. But I saw that great opportunity to come here and build a business for a company which had been recently acquired. But at the same time, I was very clear that I don't need to be in a corporate world. I just don't need to. I mean, lifestyle and all those kind of things had no meaning for me at that point of time. So when I revisited the chai idea, it was just no-brainer. In all honesty, I resigned. We started the company in March 2010. I resigned in February. So a month before I resigned and I had put in my papers, I sort of moonlighted with the idea. I set up a quick store. I hired a manager from Cafe Coffee. I paid him 30-40% more and said that, just build up this chai shop and just run it. I was still skeptical. I just wanted to see, is this just a win? And first of all, he was so ashamed to work at a chai shop. I found that very odd. He was like, sir, let's shift the store from this locality to that locality because my friends are there. Which I found very odd because, when I used to go to New York a lot, and when I used to go there, you go to a Starbucks and you order chai latte, and the person who's serving you, the barista, his or her eyes would lit up. They would think, wow, finally an international traveler who can appreciate tea and is asking for chai. And here I come back and have guys who want to run away because they're serving chai. I found that ridiculous. And at the same time, I was so happy because I realized this is the opportunity. This is 100% the opportunity. So we set up the store on an area close to Koramangala, close to the passport office. And it was just a very clean, simple store. I mean, hygiene was the number one thing. And then I just, I was still working and I would come by the store and I would talk to people and people would come over and thank me. And, they said, thank you. And, and that was another thing when I realized when people are coming and thanking you, and when I'm convinced I need it, so then we just set on. He said,
it's immediate success. You know that there is a future for your business.
Well, it's immediate success. No, I mean, in all honesty, the jury is still very much out on us. We don't have the network phenomena like internet where people get on. So brick and mortar is a very tough business. But one thing is clear that it's an execution game. There's nothing wrong with the opportunity space. We just need to be smart and not fall into the trap of doing things which supposedly are dumb things and be on with it. But jury is very much out. I mean, no doubt about it.
But you're up against Barista, you're up against Cafe Coffee Day, you're up against so many of these, franchises that are coming in with huge amount of private equity investment, and they have the capability of paying high rents in very obvious, malls and so on. So how do you survive with this kind of?
No, so we are very, very clear. These guys are not our competitors. Our target segment is the working Indian. If there is a business which comes close to what we are trying to do, it's that brand Dunkin' Donuts, which is going to come to India, but it's again going to be a mall phenomena by the admission of the people who have bought the master franchisee. But if you look at the United States and if you look at Dunkin' Donuts, it's a working American brand. So our tagline is India runs on chai, and we are very, very clear internally that the target segment is working Indian. So that means we'll never be on a park street, we'll never be in a mall. We'll be in areas, bus stands, right? Railway stations, large corporate offices too, hospitals. I mean, India is full of such places. And what you need there is just clean, hygienic, lean, Six Sigma based systems which can run, like clockwork and hopefully arrive at very consistent quality and just serve the customer. All these other peoples, they are, don't want to berate them or anything of that sort, but it's basically a cut and paste of a model which was relevant to US at a certain point of time. People back in the US are questioning whether that model is relevant to them in light of the, recession and so on. So there is a bit of fine-tuning happening. So we are very, very clear we don't want to be in that